Hello everyone, my name is Winged Supernova and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. In the last episode we had Gina up on the stand. She explained her side of things. We saw that Gregson and Graydon were conferring with each other during the cross-examination for some reason. And now we have put the music box disc in the box that was retrieved from Windabanks that belonged to Mr. McGilded. And we found out that it plays a single note repeatedly over and over irregularly. And we now need to present evidence proving that it has some sort of connection to the case. And I feel like the only evidence we have is this, where it says, "There's a sensational story lower down the front page as well. Look. Ministry Mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice." For a 10-year-old. Iris certainly has her finger on the pulse of world news. It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently they're being intercepted by hostile nations. Communications are being intercepted? But how would somebody be doing that? That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Runa? No, of course not. I wonder, perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday. Yes, it could be, and it could explain why he has Gregsy running from pillar to post at the moment. So I think that they're probably leaking this. These are secrets that are being transmitted via telegraph from Great Britain to other countries, being intercepted by people, and being leaked to foreign agencies, probably for money. And I think this is probably what it is. So let's just send it. Today's paper, Council. The headline is Pawnbroker Perishes in Pick Purse Plunder. Hardly supportive of your cause. No, my lord. I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page. Further down? Ministry Mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Yes, this is a very serious matter being investigated at the highest level, I understand. I have heard that the international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted, and leaked to various other countries. And presumably, those transmissions are in the form of wired telegrams. Of course. Juror number 5, your input, please. Stop. Oh, me, sir? Whatever is the matter? You told the court before that you worked at the same communication station as Mr. Graydon, did you not? Yes, that's correct. And the particular station where you work deals with government communications and newspaper reports? Oh, yes. We're not your run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important. Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound? You don't mean to say, is it? That's right, madam. It bears more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegraph machine as you tap it. I believe it's called morse code. But I don't believe it! Now correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there could be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer. Are you suggesting that the music box disc contains stolen government secrets in Morse code? Order! Please, everyone, order! But this is high treason, Council, deserving of capital punishment. Too much new vocabulary. What is this treason, and what is capital punishment? I think I'm speaking like Arnold when I'm doing his voice now. That's not the best. The sorts of words I'd half expect you to know. For our sovereign government's confidential information, hostile nations would surely pay almost any price. Yes, and on that night 2 months ago, that was the very negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus. But in the end, McGilded perished, and the all-important disc lay unclaimed in the pawnbrokery. My word! In which case, whoever stole that information in the first place must surely have been beside himself with worry. Because if the disc were to be discovered before it found its way out of the country, it would reveal an act of high treason punishable by death. So the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it, and in order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbrokery illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by Mr. McGilded would incriminate him too much if he got it into the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Graydon? You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. So, in response to the defense's accusation, you claim complete innocence, do you? Well, of course I do. I've had to stand here in silence while that pretentious foreign lawyer has been prattling away.
Objection!
Then by all means, counter the charges, sir. The prosecution demands that the witness testify in response to the accusations brought by the defense. Delighted, I'm sure. The witness is reminded that the crime under scrutiny in this trial is the murder of the pawnbroker, Mr. Windibank. That being a most flagitious offense for which the law of this land sanctions a capital punishment. But the heinous act of high treason is no less a serious crime. Oh, no less serious a crime. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon. So then, let us proceed. You may... Uh-oh. The inspector doesn't... Oh, the Skulkin Brothers.
You gotta let us have a rabbit and pork here, Governor. We got things to say.
I beg your pardon. Who do you think you are?
Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is professional baddie.
Name's Ringo Skulkin, but we ain't baddies enough to sell out our motherland.
That's right. We're what they call... the Three Skulkin Brothers.
Bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing. I like how he's taller and larger than both of them. A mere communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information. Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even Morse code. It was some low-class brickmaker negotiating with Mr. McGilded anyway, wasn't it not? I've no relation to the man.
Look, all we done is break into the gaff the other night like what he told us to do.
If we know there was dodgy government secrets involved, we wouldn't have touched it. Well, that was a mess. Mr. Skulkin?
One Mr. will do, Governor. What's up?
Do I take it that you now admit to the crime? That on the night in question you did indeed gain entry to the premises illegally? And moreover, you did so as a party of 3 in collaboration with Mr. Graydon here?
We did, Gov, we did!
Oh. They've given up on backing him. Hey look, my ring fit alarm is going off. Isn't that nice? Even though it looks like my switch clock is off by 10 minutes. Quiet down, please. What say you to that, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these 2 ruffians are referring to.
You little rotter, getting us all mixed up in this monkey business? You never said nothing about no government secrets. It was supposed to be a straight-up job.
And what about the geezer whose shop it was, eh? Poor bloke didn't have to die, did he? Ugh. Nice to know who your friends are. Whatever these men say, I deny the accusations. Indeed. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become so significant in the proceedings. However, as it has, I will admit it to the court record as evidence. Good. Can I take a look at it? Because I would love to take a look at it. Oh boy. I'm just gonna quickly look at it, to be quite honest. I want to check the lid, I want to check the bottom. Where's this thing?
Oh, what is it, Bruno?
I've just noticed something about this music box. Looks like the bottom of it opens up as well. Uh-oh.
Ah, you're right. Well, come on then, what are you waiting for? Let's open it.
Alright then, here goes. Oh, it has a different player on this side.
Look at that, there's another movement on the underside.
So, does that mean you can set another disc to play back on this side?
Yes, I think so, and it looks like the two movements are linked together.
They're linked. So if you had two discs,
they would play back at the same time.
Ooh. That's interesting. So we need another music disc. Whatever that might be. Interesting. That is very interesting. So, let's just press through all of these. So is this newspaper headline accurate? Government communications are being intercepted? How could I possibly know? What do you mean by that? Any important government communications are handled by high-level officers, by specialists. General members of staff in the station where I work would never be entrusted with sensitive information. Oh no! Stop! Must say something! Stop! Let me guess. Juror number 5. We regular communications station officers aren't as lowly as you're being led to believe. A team of us are responsible for setting up and testing the telegraphs used by the ministry. And Mr. Graydon is the team leader. That's fascinating. Graydon is highly skilled operator. Stop! Currently in presence of idol. Stop! So you had access to the equipment used for all these confidential communications, Mr. Graydon. Well, what of it? The transmissions are always made behind closed doors so they can't be heard. And in any case, all messages are sent enciphered. Normal employees couldn't possibly understand them. Oh no! Stop! Must say something! Stop! Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with ministry technicians and the ministry communications team. He assists them in ensuring that there are no errors in important international communications. And he's received the top prize at the cipher cracking convention 5 years in a row. Jesus Christ! She's annihilating everything that he has to say. This is the single greatest witness / juror, whatever you want to call it, in the history of Ace Attorney. She is absolutely annihilating everything that the fucking bad guy has to say in 2 seconds. That's fascinating. Graydon is highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of idol. Stop. Well, your idol would appreciate it if you'd keep your mouth shut. She should really pick her idols more carefully. I tell you, this lawyer's accusations are completely unfounded. Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even Morse code.
Hold it!
They're not? To anyone with a brain, that would be blatantly apparent on listening to that music box for even a few seconds. Of course, of course. Surely it can't be that my learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code. Ouch, he looks genuinely shocked at my ignorance. Ha ha ha! I would be more than happy to demonstrate the basics for you, sir. A lesson? Here in court? Morse code is a continuous series of 2 distinct tones. Tones, you say? Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By combining those in different ways, you construct letters. I see. For example, this is an A, and this is B. But when you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear one tone, don't you? But it sounds so similar. The rhythm of it is the same in everything. But there's no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds. So your assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code. Well, you know, I don't want to leak government secrets in the middle of court, but I feel like since we have someone who is unbiased here that can decipher Morse code, they should probably do so that we can ascertain that it's truly government secrets. No! Really, you shouldn't be so surprised. What did I tell you? That music box is nothing but a worthless piece of scrap. Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspersions in the future. Future? Future. Ugh, stop. Nothing to say but stop.
Oh, it's so frustrating, isn't it?
Iris?
I mean, if the government secrets were somehow being leaked using the music box, so many other things would slot into place so nicely.
Could there still be something I haven't considered? Would it really be impossible to use this music box somehow to play back Morse code? I didn't know this was going to end up here. There's still every possibility that this music box was instrumental in the leaking of government secrets. That's the belief of the defense, at least.
Objection!
Does it please you in some way, my Nipponese friend, to repeat the same line of argument in infinitum? It's already been established that to be Morse code, 2 tones are required, dots and dashes. Yes, I'm well aware of that. Then what? Well, it would appear the defense has a hypothesis to put forward. You had better present your idea at once, counsel. What do you propose that this music box, which appears to produce only a single tone, could have been used to cipher secret messages in Morse code? The bottom. Yeah, we've already gone through this. It won't let me skip through it quicker. So, yeah.
Got it!
It's this. Got it! Good gracious! What am I looking at here? Another movement on the underside of the music box? What? It appears, my lord, that the 2 movements are linked together. In other words, you can put 2 discs in this music box, and the sounds of both will play back at the same time. Good heavens! As the court has heard, Morse code comprises of 2 tones, a short dot, and a long dash. With a second disc in its place, the music box could be used to generate Morse code and convey a message. This is beyond a joke. I'm sorry? This poor excuse for a lawyer has absolutely no evidence to support his claims. Though, of course, if my learned friend were able to present the court with the second disc, that would be another matter. Well, I can't at the moment. And may I remind the court that, as the witness has pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus with Mr. McGilden 2 months ago, striking a deal over the disc or discs. Indeed, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. Exactly. I had nothing whatsoever to do with it. Though it has holes, I must admit the argument presented by the defense has much promise. I believe the cross-examination should continue. The link between Graydon and the victim of the omnibus case must be there somewhere. I haven't found it yet.
Oh dear, it looks like you need to give your argument more strength, Bruno.
You will reiterate your testimony if you please, Mr. Graydon. If I must, though I maintain exactly what I did at the start of this pointless cross-examination.
Hold it!
So 2 months ago in that omnibus, McGilden killed the brickmaker and stole the disc. Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. It seems he lived in an artisan quarter some years ago, but people there remember little about him. That doesn't make much sense though, does it? How would a humble brickmaker come to acquire secret government information? How indeed? There must have been somebody else involved behind the scenes in all of this. Somebody who acquired the disc and gave it to Mr. Mason, in order to take it to the meeting with Mr. McGilden and negotiate a deal.
Dear me. You may have it in for me, sir, but I assure you, I have far more class than that.
An old brickmaker from an artisan quarter and this well-to-do communications officer. If only I could find some evidence to link the 2 of them together. If you have nothing more to add on that note, let us return to the witness testimony. We're just trying to find one more thing, really, to break this one open. Like Mr. Grayson told you to do, you mean?
That's it, yeah. Who else, eh? Silly me thought he was just popping over for a natter after all them years, but then the rotter had a dodgy job for us.
After all them years, huh?
Eh, Ash?
Let me stop you there, Mr. Skulkin. After all them years, you say? Do you mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance of yours?
We're the sociable kind of baddies, you know. Sure, let's say Graydon's an old China.
Excuse me.
You got something to say there? Is something wrong, Mr. Skulkin?
Eh?
No, the other Mr. Skulkin. What? Who, me? When your brother was testifying just now, he said something that seemed to cause you to react. Oh, I was just remembering the old days, that's all. We used to have a right old laugh together way back when. Together? With Mr. Graydon, you mean?
Yeah, with Ash, I mean. Look at him now and you look at him now in his fancy whistle and flute and you wouldn't have him believe it. But when he was younger, he was from the poor part of town just like us.
Is that so?
But he was always a leery one. He had the brains, he had the savvy. Always coming up with smart ideas like what never would have gone through our heads.
God blimey, ain't that the truth? Remember Milverton and Skulkin's milk run? That was a corker, eh?
Save it until after the trial. Your reminiscing has no place in this courtroom. And neither does your fruit.
Where'd they get that, by the way?
Oi, the geezer asked us a question, didn't he? And we was answering.
Yeah, we ain't done nothing wrong.
Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you on your trip down memory lane. Counsel, can we turn our attention back to the testimony, please? I don't know. Could that sentimental story be relevant somehow? Yeah, of course. My lord. Yes, counsel? The brother's last sentimental statement could hold vital information relating to the case. Very well. Counsel, I will permit the brothers to supplement their story with that detail. Briefly, I hasten to add.
Say no more. Skulkin's never skulkin'. Hold it!
I'm sure I'm going to regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business?
Just a little scheme we had going back when we was youngsters. A bit of fun, really.
Delivering fresh milk to the locals. That's what it was all about.
That sounds alarmingly legitimate. There must be a catch. I suppose since we're here, I should ask them to elaborate, but on what? What about the business name? That seems the least interesting one of those, which means it might hold the most clue. So this business was just a bit of fun, you say? And it was just yourselves and Mr. Graydon involved?
Yeah, that's it.
Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, was it?
Yeah, that's it.
And where did the Milverton part come from?
Oh, right. I thought clever clogs like you would have worked that one out. That is...
Oh. Enough of this. How much longer are we expected to listen to this drivel? I don't... Let me guess. You don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying? Tell me, why is it that it was only at the mention of the name Milverton that you decided to interject?
Because well...
I think Milverton was the name of the brickmaker. Yeah, let me check real quick. His name was Milverton Mason, wasn't it? Oh, we don't have him. I thought his name was Milverton, but we don't have him in the people, so you can't check.
It weren't the happiest of ones that one came from.
Yeah, his old man was struggling for money so much, his wife walked out on him.
She took the name Graydon then, see?
Oh, maybe not.
But Ash will always be Milverton to us.
Milverton? So that used to be your surname, did it? Of course not. This is all bunkum. I've been a Graydon since I was born. You really think you can rely on the testimony of these two thieves? How about your birth certificate? You're a communications officer attached to the civil service. As such, your personal details will have been thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter indeed to subpoena these records, Mr. Graydon. Ah!
Well, it would appear that Mr. and Mr. Skulkin's testimony has been reliable, for once. You were born Ashley Milverton, then.
Oh. Does that mean that you're not a guy? That would be interesting. Is that correct? Very well. Yes. So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. That information could change things. It could turn out to be extremely important. All of a sudden, we seem to be up to our necks in a serious matter of national security. Although all this talk about interception of secret government messages is still just conjecture at this stage.
It would explain a number of things, though, wouldn't it? The negotiation Jenny overheard on the omnibus 2 months ago, and the break-in at Windibanks. But the trouble is, it wasn't Mr. Graydon in the omnibus with Mr. McGilded.
No, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker who was so horribly murdered.
If only there was some link between the two men somehow.
I know, but Mr. Graydon's testimony seems to be as watertight as ever. I wonder if the key to us making headway with the cross-examination here could be those two brothers. So I feel like what it is, I have no relation to the man. Do I present... Is there a way to present profiles? Can I not present his profile? Because I feel like that would be huge right here. I haven't pressed this one yet. So did you know nothing about this music box?
We didn't know nothing. We still don't know nothing. And we ain't planning on knowing nothing about it either.
But 2 nights ago, you did indeed break into Windibank's pawnbrokery, didn't you? In your original testimony, you said that the door of the shop was ajar and that it was like some kind of a sign begging you to go in. But the truth is, you were planning to break into the Windibanks all along, weren't you?
We were, Guff, we were. You're right there.
'Cause that's what he told us to do. It was his plan.
And why was it Mr. Graydon's plan to break into Windibanks that night? Did you not ask the reason?
Well, he said that the place was full of stuff worth nicking. That's what he told us beforehand, anyway. Turned out it was a load of cobblers, didn't it? I'm just pleased, I can tell you.
In any case, if they know the real reason, it doesn't sound like they're going to give it away.
Milverton and Skulkin's milk run. God, them were the days.
Maybe I'll ask him about the other thing. So, how did your little business work exactly?
Well, every morning down our way, the milkman would come with his cart to deliver milk, see? If you stuck your empties outside your front door, you would leave them full again, right?
So we swooped in on the action, got people to sign up with us. We promised to deliver milk for half the price of the other geezers doing it. People couldn't wait to sign on the dotted line. We were raking it in, we were.
So, did you live on a dairy farm or something?
Gordon Bennett, are you off your rocker? We had nothing. We were too poor to have a farm.
Right.
Nah.
Nah, what we had going on was simple once you had the idea. We just switch them over, see? Our customers' empties with the full ones from anyone who wasn't on our books.
A doddle, right?
I think you mean to say a diddle, and that's a crime.
It was just a harmless bit of fun, that's all.
Milking the general public in such a fashion is most certainly not harmless, as you put it. Well, it was him who came up with the idea. Ash is the evil genius.
You mean Mr. Graydon? So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. So the nature of the business didn't really do anything for us, unfortunately. The fact that we know his name, though, it doesn't do anything for us at the moment. I'm thinking maybe if we... If we press this right here. So 2 months ago in that omnibus, Mr. McGilda killed the brickmaker that stole the disc. Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. It seems he lived in an artisan quarter some years ago, but the people there remember little about him. Yeah, we went through this. Oh wait, was there a thing earlier on that we could have done something with? Go back here. I think there was something... I can't remember which one it was, but there was one of these where it was like a lawn thing, and then there was... It was like, I can't prove that at the moment. Oh yeah, if we don't have the disc. Right? We were trying to find the disc. I'm not sure though. Not sure what we need to do to find the disc. Just mashing through this to see if we can find something. Oh, here we go. Something new. However, as the defense has just demonstrated, the music box is able to play a second disc simultaneously. Which means there's a possibility the device could in fact have been used to produce Morse code.
Objection!
My Nipponese friend forces me to repeat myself. The courtroom is no place for mere possibilities. Present the second disc of which you speak, or your argument is dead in the water. I just can't do that at this time. And may I remind the court that, as the witness has pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus with Mr. McGilda 2 months ago striking a deal over the disc or discs. Indeed, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. Exactly. I had nothing whatsoever to do with it. So, as my learned friend appears to be persisting with this line of argument, I presume the defense is able to show a connection between the brickmaker and this witness. Ah, you're correct. We can. He's got me. I have to find a decisive piece of evidence here, or it's all over. Oh, but we can. I can't present profiles. This sucks. If I could just present a profile, then I'd be good. I don't know which one I need to do something with. All right, well, I think I'll figure it out when I'm off screen, and we'll come back, and that'll be the end of this episode. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, subscribe, all that happy, fun stuff, and then yeah, in the next episode, we're going to prove that there's a link between Mr. Mason and Ashley Milverton over here. So yeah, see you guys then.